Hi everybody. I thought it would be useful to do a video about extensions and different types of extensions and how they work and what they can achieve whilst we're in lockdown. So I'm going to start with tapes today. I'm going to do half of this doll's head with tapes. So this head has recently had a balayage and a root stretch. So if you can see, she's got quite a dark root, and then I've taken her to sort of an ombre balayage at the end, so she's quite blonde at the ends. Now I'll often get asked by people, they'll message me and tell me they've got boxed eye dark hair and they want to go blonde, and they also want to add length to the hair, and they'll ask me about colouring it and extensions. So I thought it'd be useful to use her because she's had a balayage. She was quite dark originally, and it was obviously processed hair because she's a doll. So I was never going to get her very, very blonde. I mean, she's blondish, but I was never going to get her very, very blonde because her hair is already so processed. So she's a good example of what we can achieve with people that've got processed hair. So one of the good things about extensions is that they, as well as adding length or volume, they can also add colour. You don't need to match it up exactly to your existing hair to get some really great effects. So I've bought sort of a golden blonde extension. I bought eye tips, and I bought tapes pretty much in the same colour. I've not gone really, really blonde, but I could have gone much blonder. I've just gone sort of a warmish, it's probably an 8/9. So it's a nice colour and will tone really well with her hair. So people think that extensions are all about looking like Kim Kardashian-esque, and they're not really. They are really, really useful for adding, if your hair's fine or broken off, they're really great for adding volume. As well as length. So her hair's already quite long, but it's quite thin, and these will add loads of volume to hair as well as colour. There are 4 types of extensions that I do, but really there's mainly 3 that are the main ones. So I do nano rings, which are a tiny little bead in the hair, and the piece of hair hooks into that tiny little ring. They're great if you've got fine hair and if you do a lot of exercise, you tie your hair up a lot. They're brilliant, but because you're attaching, you're limited to how much hair you can put into the bead because the beads are so tiny. So really you do risk damaging your own hair, and probably the most with nano rings. There's something that I don't often do for that very reason, really. For most of my clients with fine hair, I tend to stick to tapes, just because they really achieve the best impact. And are really, really easy to wear. So all of this hair that I bought is literally, I just bought it from eBay this time. It's not, I would never buy it, I'd never buy hair from eBay for a client. I would never recommend a client bought hair from eBay. However, for the purposes of this doll and these videos, this hair will be absolutely fine for what I want to achieve. So I bought 20-inch in the micro ring hair, the eye tips, and I bought 18 inches in the tapes. So they will. But today we're just going to focus on the tapes. So they're going to give us some length, but not much. They're really going to give her colour more than anything else. So I'm going to fit this hair now, and I'll hopefully, depending on my editing skills, sort of fast forward this bit of the video. So because I'm not trying to teach people how to fit tape extensions. It's really just for the purpose to show you what effect they'll achieve. I might even pause it and just so you can see the after effect after I've done a couple of rows. And then what I will do though is I will do a video of taking the tapes out, because I know a lot of my clients now coming up to what we're 5 weeks into lockdown. If tape extensions I would really recommend that they are refreshed 6 weeks. I wouldn't leave them any longer than 6 weeks. I know some people do, The further they grow down from your root, the more likely you are to get matting and breakage from your root area. So the purpose of extensions is not to damage your hair. It's really to help you thicken your hair naturally, allow it to heal, and if you've got short hair and you want to grow it, it'll get you through that painful period of time where your hair's an awkward length. So I'm going to start fitting these now, and so I'm going to do a video of how to remove them, because a lot of you will need to remove your tapes yourself, and I'd really rather you watch me do it and got someone to do it for you, using what I suggest and recommend, so I know that they're being removed safely. I don't care whether you're a client of mine or not. For whoever wears extensions, I think it's really, really good that your hair doesn't get damaged during this period. So hopefully you'll find the removal video useful to help you to get your own extensions out. Okay, so I'm going to stop talking now, and I am going to start fitting these extensions. The really good thing about tapes, I know I said I was going to stop talking, but I haven't. The really good thing about tape extensions is that they're really flat. So you can take them quite high up the hairline, which will give you a better blend, and you won't really see them. I do an LA weave. I do micro rings, which are a thicker version of nanos, which I'm going to do a video on. And I do an LA weave, which is where the whole weft of hair is attached to the head, and it's an amazing technique. It's really low maintenance. It's what I had my own hair when I had extensions, and it's really low maintenance. But because you're putting a weft in the hair, it is quite thick. So when the hair's down, if you've got it too high, you can sometimes see a ridge in the hairline. So it's not ideal for everybody. They certainly don't work for people with really fine hair. They're just not ideal at all. Whereas this method, because it is so flat, it's really, really versatile. You can put it all around the hair. And these ones they're basically this size with adhesive on, and you basically stick the two together with hair in between. You will find these now where they're really, really narrow. I can cut them down. So if I want to just focus in a particular area without it being obvious, you can do that. So they're really versatile. They're quite high maintenance to maintain, because obviously you're putting glue into the hair, which you've then got to remove. So when I do the removal video, you'll see how high maintenance they can be. So I think I bought about 50 grams of hair here, which is, if you've got fine hair and you just wanted to add volume, it's a perfect amount of hair. If you wanted to add length too, then you would really need more hair to get a good enough blend. So the general rule of thumb on extensions is that you add, use as much of your own hair as you're adding in terms of weight. I'd say that's probably less, use slightly less with tapes, but certainly with nanos and micro rings, just so you're not putting too much pressure or weight on the hair. And the aim is, when we fit them, is that they'll lie flat, because these have been folded up. So you can already see that you're getting a really good blend down here. It's lightening the end slightly. Now, you won't actually see that blonde bit at the top, because the hair will cover it over. But usually what I would do in this situation is I would colour the top of this hair. to match that hair, so that if she did have a hair up or anything like that, it would be less obvious. And I obviously want to leave space away from the front, so if she has her hair up, then you won't see. So okay, so I fitted all the extensions. So there were 50 grams of hair there. Well, there was 50 grams of hair. So that is, I know it's only half of her head, but yeah, it's just a bit over half, well, just a bit under half a head of hair really. So I'm just going to brush it out now, because obviously it's in sausages. So now you can see how much lighter that has made her hair look, especially at the ends. She's got really, really blonde, lovely blonde hair at the ends there, and it's blended in nicely. Now, as I said, I probably, because of, you know, if it was windy or something like that, I'd probably just colour the top of those just to tone in, so it would be less noticeable. But other than that, you know, it blends brilliantly. So you don't need to get a perfect match to your own colour when you're doing hair if you want to achieve different effects. And obviously the other bonus of doing a balayage this way and getting that really blonde look is that you're not damaging your own hair, because you're not having to put any bleach products on your own hair. So you really are actually doing your own hair a really good favour there. So if you look at versus the other side, so it's just given some, it looks shorter, that's because I've curled it. This side's got 20 inch going into it, so it's going to look longer. And but yeah, we're going to get the same effect at the end of the day. Once I've put the eye tips in here, she'll look the same hair all over really. So you can see how much volume it's added to her hair as well. Her hair looks so much thicker than it did before. And so if she wanted to have a ponytail, she could have a ponytail, and you can't see the top of the tapes. You can see the blonde bit there, but as I say, I probably would colour those. You can't see them anywhere. And I always fit them based upon someone's own hair growth pattern to get the best effect and the best blend. So there we go. So there's tape extensions. So what do they look like? Basically taped in the top of the hair. So when you wash your hair, you basically don't wash them for the first 24 hours, it's 48 hours, just to leave the glue plenty of time to cure. And then when you wash, you just try and keep shampoo and conditioner away from your tapes, really, and especially conditioner away from the top of your tapes, because you don't want them to slide down. But yeah, there's some tape extensions. I would probably use another 25 grams on that side if I was going to do a full head. So obviously all over 150 grams. But again, that varies head to head. If someone had really, really fine hair, I probably wouldn't go overboard, and I probably wouldn't use that much. If someone's got really, really thick hair, then I actually may use 200 grams. So that's tape extensions really. So I will, as I say, do, there you can see from the front. You can see just how much blonder it looks, and it really gives it a good impact, a really good wow factor without damaging her own hair, and lots of dimension in there too. Keeping the dark bits in, which are her own natural hair, just really emphasise the blonde and make it look a bit more natural and multi-dimensional, which is a lot more modern these days. Yeah, so I'll do the micro rings in the next video, and then I will do the removal so you can see how taking out works. Okay, any questions? Or if you're interested in having tapes or any type of extension when lockdown's over, if you just message me, because I can always do a Zoom consultation prior to lockdown ending, and then we can sort of be ready to get your hair ordered and ready to go as soon as lockdown's over, to get you what's going to suit your hair best really. But yeah, really pleased with that. Looks really good, and the colours worked out really, really well, and actually looks lighter than it did in the pack because it's against her dark hair. Okay, look forward to hearing from you if you've got any questions. Thank you, bye.